Hello everyone and welcome to this week's episode of the Munce Report. Firstly, thanks to everyone for the love for the revamped format. I know Chris and Kathy's messages were running hot, so thanks to everyone for the love. And Matt, did I just see Juliet Partridge signing a few autographs off the back of her Meet the Team?
She was, yeah, very important part of it, Juliet. She's looks like getting a gig in Hollywood now, so there's plenty of actress in her.
Sure is. Well, we'll bring you more Meet the Teams in the coming weeks, but we've got a couple of new segments to show you today on the show, so let's get into it. Okay, mate, the week in review. It's been a great week for the stable. Majestic's Request, he broke his maiden in style, and you also jagged the Quinella in the same race.
Yeah, he was very impressive. Sitting wide at Caloundra there, 1400 metre maid, it's not easy to do. I thought the way he put him away when he straightened was quite impressive, so I think he'll go on with it now. So he'll definitely get a mile. 2,000 metres is still probably questionable, but I think he's a nice horse. We've just had to be a little bit patient with him. But, you know, it's beginning to pay rewards for the owners now. He's certainly a nice galloper. And Strategic Success also ran a nice second behind him. He did, yeah. He's just racing a lot better this time round. He's a big horse. It's taken him a bit of a while for the penny to drop and learn what it's all about, the racing side of it. But his 2 runs this time in have been very encouraging. And you also had some nice place getters there with Correa running a nice race, and then also Sakura Star. So 3 place getters and a winner from your last 4 starters. Yeah, well, Correa, he hadn't run for 5 weeks, and you know, he had a bit of weight on his back, and I thought he loomed to win on the straightening. It was only the last 150 that probably took its toll on him. And then Sakura Star on Wednesday at Eagle Farm was very brave. She was she was stuck deep, and obviously had to do a little bit of work there, but she done a good job to finish 3rd. Very good. Well, yeah, good to see the stable performing. No, they are. They're racing very well, and look forward to the dual weekend this weekend. Okay, runners to follow time, a new segment where obviously Chris is going to highlight some runners, whether they be lighting up the track in the early hours of the morning at track work or performing at the trials, and you've honed in on the fella who's being nice and friendly behind us, our gallant dancer. Yeah, well, he trialled really well on Tuesday. It was his first time under pressure, and he was a little bit slow out, but he hit the line very, very strongly for Zach Lloyd, so he certainly he showed me a lot then on the trials on Tuesday, and his work before that had been quite good. So I think he's a bright horse going forward. And what are you thinking with him? Obviously, as many owners may know, 2-year-olds can be a week-to-week proposition. But what's next step for him? Well, he'll probably have another jump out in a fortnight. Look, he could probably nearly go to the races, but I just feel sometimes these young horses in other trials, you're better off doing that with them instead of putting them under race day pressure. They seem to get more benefit out of it. So he'll probably have one more jump out, and then we'll look for a race for him, you know, over 1,000 metres, something like that, to kick off in. Okay, well, exciting for owners because they've only been in for a number of months. You purchased him from the English Ready to Run sale. Heroic Valor out of Ballanqua was the mare, and purchased for 60,000. So great for the owners to be potentially going to the races in a matter of months. Yeah, that's right. And he's Cutis as well, which is even more encouraging for up here. And he's just been a little pro since he come here. He's a bit immature, and that's why we put him out and gelded him. But since he's come back, he's been a lot more mature, and he'll be right to go to the races in probably 3 to 4 weeks' time. Oh, well, exciting times ahead, and familiar colours also. The Phil Gutsky and Mel Schumacher colours there, part of the ownership group. Yeah, well, Phil was quite excited when he seen that I bought it. He liked the look of him and asked if he could take a share. So it's good to have Lucky Phil's colours on him. Yeah, well, they have been lucky, haven't they? So yeah, keep an eye out for this fella in the coming weeks. Okay, well, owner education time, and with the March Magic Million sale upon us, we thought it'd be a great opportunity to show owners what Chris looks for in a horse from a conformation point of view, with the catalogue and everything like that. So you'll obviously be buying up at the sale. You'll be looking to buy. Yeah, sure will, Adam, and you know, it's they come in all different shapes and sizes. You know, it's not one mould fits all sort of thing. But I think the main thing you look for in them, you just want to see a well put together animal. You don't want to see them too big and gangly, even though they may well grow into two of themselves. You want a horse that's got basically, you want to have one with a nice rein on him, from there down to there. So when they're reaching for ground, when they're in full gallop, they're able to sort of reach for ground. You don't want a short neck on them where they're not going to be able to reach. And you want nice length from there back up to there as well. You don't want them too short and compact, otherwise you potentially don't get over too much ground. So that's probably the first thing you look for. You always look at their eye. You want something with a nice forehead,
nice eye, nice ears. First thing is too, they've got to walk out of their box nice and quiet. You don't want them on their toes, you want them nice and quiet. But then you look at their legs, obviously. Their legs are the most important thing that you look at. With yearlings, they've always got a bit of space between their knee plates. Obviously, if they're immature, very few have developed and joined. By this time, they're still very young and their knee plates are very open. So he's a mature horse, so his knee plates are all shut at this point in time. But for me personally, I like a horse that's got shorter cannons. I don't like big long cannons on them because they seem to take a bit more time and they're more the staying type horses. He's got relatively nice sized pasterns from there to there. Big long pasterns cause too much strain on the back of their tendons and always seem to end up with leg injuries. The back end's probably the most important part, and you want something that's from there to there is big. That's where their power comes from. And the same as behind them when you're looking at their hips. You look at their hips back this way, you want plenty of width, not little narrow hips. You want plenty of width on their hips. As I mentioned, that's where their power comes from. Also, when you see them walk, it's always good to watch their tails move when they walk because that's a sign of a well-balanced horse. So this horse fitted all the categories of it that I look for, and he's a nice horse. Also like to make sure that when you look at them from the front on that their feet aren't either toed in or toe out. It's always nice to try and have them. They're not always 100% perfect, but you always want a horse walking in a nice straight line, well balanced and walking forward the same as behind. You don't want them too close in at the hocks behind. They've got to be just well balanced so as they're always walking forward in a straight line.
All right, well, some interesting stuff there just on what Chris looks for in as far as the conformation goes. But I guess the other side of things is the catalogue comes out, weeks or months in advance of a sale. How do you go through the process of coming up with your shortlist and refining that?
Yeah, well, it's a long, tough job. I can assure you. There's a lot of horses to look at, but obviously pedigrees are very important. You've got to look at their pedigrees. Then you obviously go for their body type, but their pedigrees you sort of look for something that isn't too old of a mare, a mare that's relatively young, but you don't want a mare that's had a lot of foals without a lot of success. So you've got to really put a lot of homework into the pedigrees, and then from there you look at the horse, and that's how you narrow it down. You look at the types, and you'll go back and look at them a second, third time, and you might cut a few out, but you'll also get them vetted in between to make sure that all their X-rays are clean, so you're not buying a horse that might have an issue that's going to jeopardise their career later on.
Okay, very good. And no doubt there's some on your shortlist ahead of the sale, which gets underway on Monday and Tuesday next week. Yeah, I've already done my shortlist, but that'll probably get narrowed down, and then it'll probably get narrowed down again. So by the time the sale starts, there'll probably be, I'd say, 10 or 20 there that I'd really like, and then we'll have a crack from there. Very good. Well, if anyone does want more information on the horses that Chris is looking for, or potentially buys at the back end of the sale, you can contact admin@munceracing.com.au. Okay, well, it's a big weekend of racing for the team, headlined by the girl in the box behind us. She's having a good rest, so she's not going to come out and say hello. But Jukebox Glow's the girl we're talking about. She's in the $500,000 cutest jewel, and great to have another runner in this big race. Yeah, it is. It's been a good race to us, I've got to say. We've had Boom Sarah won the inaugural duel, and then Boom Nova, she had her first start in the race in the duel and was only narrowly beaten by Rothfire and the other good filly of Michael Nolan. So it's been a good race. Yeah. Kisakana, yeah. So it has been a good race, and I think this filly, Boom Sarah, was big odds the day he won, and this filly is as well, but I think I wouldn't be surprised to this filly to surprise a few people on Saturday. Yeah, well, she made an impression on debut, and then talk us through the Toowoomba race. I mean, what did you make of that? I just think it was a run. The track's very tricky up there at Toowoomba, and particularly horses that aren't there regularly don't often handle it all that well. So I think that she'll certainly benefit from going to the Gold Coast. I've got no doubt about that. She was just starting to make momentum at Toowoomba, in behind a few horses, and got stopped for a run, which took her momentum away there late. But I think blinkers on Saturday. Addition to blinkers on Saturday will be a big help to her, and I think she'll run very well. And the 1200 metres, she shapes that should really suit her right down the ground? Won't hurt her at all. I think the 1200 will suit her down the ground. Larry's obviously going to have to give her a very good ride, but I'm sure he's experienced enough where he should be able to. Okay, very good. Well, good luck to Connections there. It's exciting to have a runner in a big race, so good luck to everyone. Ipswich on Saturday, you've got several runners there. Bedini's Girl is second up in the cutest 3-year-old benchmark 65 over the 1200, and she was a good second behind a smart one first up.
Resumed very well, yeah, she did. It's a race with a bit of speed in here on Saturday, I feel, so she'll probably just get back out of the speed a little bit, and I'm sure that she'll be hitting the line quite well.
Okay, well, it'd be good to see her back in the winner's circle. She's obviously been performing at a high level. I guess that's part of the intention to go into a race like this.
Yeah, I was just struggling to find races for her, to be honest, so I thought, well, I'll run her there and hopefully she can win, and then we'll build off that. She's still got plenty of fillies and mares races over the carnival if she aims up to them.
Very good. Good luck to everyone there. Valley of Dreams, back to the scene of her win at the track here and over the trip, 3 starts back.
Yeah, she's back in grade, similar distance to what she won at, with a good draw and Zach Lloyd's claim, so she's got a lot of positives for her on Saturday. I thought she ran very well at Toowoomba, had a wide draw and went forward, and certainly I thought that she was off the bit a long way out, but she still battled on to run 5th, so I think it's a good race for her on Saturday.
Okay, very good. Well, she's had a good preparation, hasn't she? So hopefully that continues. And then Tiptoes is entered for a maiden handicap, trialled well again on Tuesday, and was also entered for Sunday as another option.
Yeah, well, poor Tiptoes, she can't draw a barrier, and every time she does draw a barrier, it rains. So it's a bit frustrating because she's been ready to go to the races about a month ago, and everything's just gone wrong with her. So look, she'll run either Saturday or Sunday. I would probably think after the barriers it will be Sunday. The fact that she's drawn a little bit more competitively, I think the bad barrier at Ipswich is just going to make her job too difficult.
Okay. And then the other runners on Sunday, Hot Sauce was an emergency, but has already got a run through scratchings and whatnot, and the cutest 3-year-old maiden plate over the 1400. And do you think that extra trip will suit her?
Got no doubt. I think the extra trip will help, plus the addition of blinkers. I think they'll be 2 positives for her. She's racing like a filly that's going to get out over a mile, 2,000 metres, which isn't a bad thing. She's still learning. She's only had 2 race starts, but she's still learning. But I thought her 2 runs, she's really been knuckling down well late and looking for something a bit further.
Okay, very good. And then Shooting Roses is second up after trialling well at Doomben on Tuesday.
Yeah, so she's drawn a little bit awkward. I'll just wait and see what the scratchings happen there, but there's also options for her available to her. It's a relatively strong race on Sunday. So I probably will run her, but I just need to have a closer look at the fields closer to the time.
Okay, very good. Well, that's the runners. A big weekend coming up for the stable once again.
Good on you. Thanks, Adam.